You should be ready that as we get into the election season, there's going to be a lot of old, scarred over wounds that those folks on the left are going to rip open in order to get us divided again. And their favorite subject, January 6th, the insurrection, where democracy was on the ballots and we were going to lose our country. Yeah. So we're going to have to get into that whole discussion again. So they're going to talk about insurrection. Insurrection. Now, it's an ugly day if you look at, and I have a lot of the January 6th video. There is a lot of ugliness to a lot of the video, okay? A whole band of kind of crazy folks that really went to voice their opinion. They felt the election was stolen, and people have a right to feel that there was something that was underhanded that went on based upon the fact that Trump won. Many different states, Ohio, Florida, those bellwether states that you need to get across the line to win the presidency, and the number of counties he won is compared to the number of counties that Obama won during his victories to win the presidency. So, of course, these people felt as if it was robbed, and fine, you can go and you can voice your objection to the outcome of the 2020 election, and of course it got out of control. And if you look at a lot of the video, it could have been incited by those people that were trying to make this whole thing erupt, mob mentality, and then of course an entire riot ensued. And you probably could blame people on both sides of the argument for this if you watch the video in its totality. But really, there was no way we were going to lose our democracy. It wasn't going to be the downfall of the country. If you really want to see a real insurrection and what that looks like, watch this.
Of bloodshed, of intense fighting and horrific human suffering with no obvious way out. Port-au-Prince is no stranger to gang violence, but an unholy alliance has emerged between the most powerful armed groups, now unified behind this man, Jimmy Chercier, aka Barbecue.
Première étape dans la bataille, c'est retirer Ariel Henry sous pouvoir. Ensuite, pour nous déclencher une bataille réelle contre le pouvoir, et pour nous déclencher une bataille réelle contre le système qui est là, système oligarque corrompu, politicien traditionnel corrompu.
And that first step, now done. The unelected Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, resigned on Monday after agreeing to a transitional government. Henry now out after weeks of horrific violence led by Barbecue, Haiti's most notorious gang leader. He and his soldiers have locked around Port-au-Prince for nearly 2 weeks. Dozens of police stations, many destroyed. Gang members even showing off stolen body armor. Constant assaults at the airport forced it to shut down too.
That was the face of the leader of the insurrection to overthrow the government in Haiti. The guy's name is Barbecue. They call him Barbecue. Do you know why they call him Barbecue? Well, let me tell you, to the best of my understanding. They call this guy Barbecue because what he does, or what he has done, or to get that name, was to castrate his, I don't know, I hope, you just go look it up. You don't want me to have to discuss what castration is, but he castrates his victim and then sets them on fire. Thus the name Barbecue. Okay, so that's the person who's leading an insurrection and successfully has moved in to overthrow the government. You can see the suffering that's there and the people of Haiti that are suffering underneath the rule, or the overruling of Barbecue and his movement to assume control of the government and the land in the name of freedom for the people. I don't know anybody that's castrating people and setting them on fire in this country, and they certainly weren't doing that on January 6th, notwithstanding some of the bad behaviors that did in fact occur. But Barbecue is the guy who's leading the revolt against the government. That is the face of insurrection. Do you want to see the face of insurrection here?
Hey! Fucking hey, man. Glad to see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy. He's got covered in blood. God bless you. Yes. You good, sir? Do you need medical attention? I'm good, thank you. All right. I got shot in the face. I got shot in the face with some kind of plastic bullet.
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place.
Okay, I just want to let you guys know this is like the safest place.
I know. Hey, no, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. This is this chair because Mike Pence is a fucking traitor. Well, I'm not one to usually take pictures of myself, but in this case, I think I'm making an exception here. Hey, you and the lady.
You're gonna put that guy up against Barbecue? Come on, man! You gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy. That's nonsense. But do you see how, that's the picture of insurrection is the shaman. It's just nuts, right? But you can see the guy is standing there with the Capitol Police, and of course, again, there's a lot of ugliness that went on outside, and again, it was like mob mentality, it's just you put people in groups and things just go nuts. But again, there's still some insanity if you listen to some of it. Let's watch some of it as these folks are walking through the Capitol and they make their way to the main chambers. Here we go.
Take it easy. Get away.
If you look at the Haiti stuff, there's guys that are armed with M16s and high round rifles and automatic weapons. These guys are walking around with cell phones and flags. What are they doing? They're not throwing anything. Right, and they finally make their way to the main chamber. I will have to prepare you a little bit. There is a little bit of expletive language in here. We did not hollow out, again, for the purposes of, unadulterated footage, so you could see all of it and you could listen to some of the nonsense. Go ahead.
1776.
Well, guess what? America showed up. Where's the rest of everybody? There's not enough of us. They're gonna bring the vets in or something. Is this a city? Where the fuck are they? Where are they? While we're here, we might as well set up the government. Hey, let's take a seat, people! Let's take a seat! Nancy Pelosi. Let's vote on some shit!
I can't. Let's take a seat, people. Let's vote. Let's set up a government. It's just insane. It's just crazy. Again, I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. By right, I shouldn't be laughing because, again, on the outside, it was kind of nuts and crazy, and there were people fighting, and there was, pepper spray and tear gas and all this other stuff. And again, if you look back through a lot of the footage, there's a lot to be left to be decided as who struck first, who incited the first blow. There are some folks that will contend, and based on the footage, that the Capitol Police struck first, and there's pictures of and videos of folks that are coming back from the Capitol Police that it was almost like it was encouraged to incite a riot. Because it's not hard to do, especially because all of these personalities and all these emotions are running high. It doesn't take much to fan the flames. But again, you have to see all of the video in totality. And when it went through the whole January 6th committee, of course they're going to cherry pick the videos that makes their case, because that's what they're supposed to do for their side in order to get this guy Trump out of the way. But in other video that we've done to discuss this, Trump's motivation has been the same for 45 years. He thinks our leaders are stupid. He thinks there's a lack of common sense, logic to handle these things. And very simple. You want NATO protection? You pay for NATO protection. You want to rent an apartment? You pay for the apartment. You want a building built here? Well, you need to get the bond and funding to do that. To him, it's just all of this is transactional, right? So, but you really have to ask the question is, why do they want to keep this guy out so badly? That becomes the primary question. Why are they trying to keep him out? Right? And it's not because he's going to be a fascist and he's going to be an authoritarian, autocratic rule. I don't even know what fascism is. Okay, you could see the whole Haiti situation. That's a situation of totalitarian regime that's trying to overthrow a government. You're talking about a guy that wants to get back in and follow through with his common sense thinking, which sometimes goes against the narrative of people on the left, which is, come on in, open the border, give away everything, phones and apartments, and don't work hard, and forget meritocracy, and just kill babies and pretend that you're a giraffe. As long as you identify as one, you are in fact a giraffe. And this is why they keep saying democracy is on the line. Well, yeah, because when we're living in this world of fantasy and crazy visions, you could see why there is such a battle. Because if you think about it, the right is your father. The Republicans, they're your father. And the left, the Democrats, they're your mother, right? Your mother's very emotional, and she just says that, you should be loved. And honey, just give him some attention and play with them. He wants to pretend that he's an astronaut. Of course, he's not just an astronaut. He's a transsexual, transgenderized astronaut that's two-spirited, and he identifies as a broom. So just play with him and just pretend that he's a broom that's transgender, astronaut, whatever. And your father comes in and says, this is ridiculous. What is that kid doing? How's he going to grow up to be a man and go out and protect his family and his wife and his kids one day when you got him play pretending his whole life? So your father's the guy who's being logical, reasonable, rational, and your mother in most cases is trying to be the moral center for people and be more emotional in most cases. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying it sounds like that appears to me how it looks from 10,000 feet. But don't take my word for it, because I'm just a moron. But at least I'm not following the January 6th shaman. I'm smart enough than that.
Prepare for it. This is our house. Get out of that chair. No, this is our chair. I agree with you, brother, but it's not ours. It belongs to the Vice President of the United States when he's in here. It's not our chair. Look, I love you guys, you're brothers, but we can't be disrespectful. Don't disrespect. They can steal an election, we can't sit in their chair? No, we're not putting up with that either. Look, it's a PR war, okay? You have to understand it's an IO war. We can't lose the IO war. We're better than that. Information operation. We can't do it.
And so in closing, it wasn't all bad. Right? So you got some people there that are trying to respect, they're trying to speak out in their feelings and whatnot without being too destructive. But of course, like with everything, there's always somebody out there breaking stuff and causing trouble and starting fights. As in every open house party you ever went to when you were a kid. So it's the same thing. It's just all trumped up because we got to use this information to make sure we keep this guy out of the office. But again, the question comes down to why? Why are they trying to keep him out of the office? And don't tell me it's because democracy's on the ballot and he's going to be an authoritarian fascist. That can't be it. That would just be too simple, which means that there must be much more diabolical vision why these people need to keep this hardcore guy out of the office. But you know what? On November 5th, you decide.